Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Mountain View County Election Candidates Forum. This is your opportunity to let the rest of the county and even beyond the county, those who are interested in what you're standing up for, have your opportunity to share it with the electorate. So for those on screen and those of you that are here, my name is Al Kemmere, and I was a 17-year councillor, 6 years of those as Reeve. And beside me is Bruce Beattie, who was a 11-year councillor and 10 years of those as Reeve. And so we've got, I'll say, some experience in being where you're at right now, and then being where the successful candidates will be from this point on. And so it's to me, and what we both have said, it's been a great honor to represent the people in Mountain View County over the years. And the successors will have that privilege. And those of you who are not successful, thank you for putting your name forward. This is the democratic process that we all rely on so strongly. And so it's important that you all do your best to take this on. There will be great learnings come out of this regardless of who the winners are. These forums are being recorded here in council chambers and shared to Mountain View County's YouTube channel so residents can watch at their convenience. They don't have to be live. They're actually not available live until later, but they will be available to whoever wants to watch. We're very pleased to provide this platform for residents to hear directly from the candidates seeking election in 2025. This is an important opportunity for voters to learn more about the individuals running in each division and the perspectives they bring to the table. We just did Division 6 and Division 2 about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. Many residents have already submitted questions in advance. These have been compiled and will be posed to the questions throughout the forum.
Thanks, Al. So the format today, just to outline it for everyone's knowledge, the opening statement. So we'll start off. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to introduce themselves and share their platform. The order of speaking was determined by a random draw, and the timer will be used to ensure fairness. That's the timer, in case you're wondering. Pre-submitted questions, as Al mentioned, we will present questions to each candidate in turn. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond, with the order alternating for each question. We expect to cover 6 or 7 rounds of questions. That'll depend on how verbose everyone is during that process. Please note, it's not a debate. Candidates will respond individually. After the question period, there'll be closing statements, and each candidate will have 2 minutes for their final remarks. And the order of speaking, again, was determined by a random draw. At the end, there will be a wrap-up, closing remarks, the forum thanking participants, outlining your voting opportunities for each division. So with that, let's get started. For opening statements, we will begin with Division 1 candidates, and the random order has Mr. Shaw starting and then Mr. Fulton. So, Mr. Shaw.
There we go. Thank you very much for this opportunity to engage with the constituents. First, I want to thank the moderators for their time for today, and I want to welcome all the candidates, and especially want to give my regards and best wishes to all the constituents out there. It's important that you get out and vote. My campaign theme is every vote matters, since I lost by 1 vote last time, so every vote does count. Just a little bit about myself. I'm a 4th generation Canadian and a 4th generation farmer rancher. My great-great-grandparents came to Calgary with the CPR and started a ranch in Cochrane, which is still in place today. I was raised on the Scarlet Ranch, which is a famous historic place on the Rosebud Coulee. My dad was born there, and my cousin farms it, and I just farm just across the road from it. I've been involved in agriculture for all of my agriculture-related fields of endeavor, both in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and on 6 continents. I've been a teacher. I've been a farmer. I'm a technologist, a marketer, an international business owner. And from the international business owner, I sold agricultural products from the county of Mountain View to 4 continents in the world. I have been actively involved in agriculture up till 2.5 years ago, at which time I decided to take semi-retirement and rent my farm out. I still am actively involved in farming in the community with the farmers. My goals on for my campaign is first off, every vote matters. I think it's important that everybody exercise their franchise and to have input and get more input into the community and the county affairs. The things that I'm excited in pursuing is, one is that I'm really concerned about our tax base and growing our tax base in a symbiotic manner that is complementary to agriculture in this in the county, and we keep our deep roots. Encourage more constituent consultation, two-way dialogue with our constituents, new compatible agriculture businesses. I want to see us lever our assets that we have in the county to develop more businesses. Buy Canadian, and I just want to state that every vote matters. Please get out and vote. Thank you.
Mr. Fulton.
Good day, Mountain View County residents. My name is Dwayne Fulton, and I am seeking re-election as your councillor for Division 1 in Mountain View County. As one of only 2 actively farming councillors, I believe it is essential to keep agricultural producers at the council table. Farmers understand firsthand the unique challenges and opportunities facing rural communities. I remain committed to advocating for practical policies and programs that support agriculture. I've spent all of my 54 years residing in Mountain View County, and I'm a full-time farmer. My wife Shannon and I live on our family farm west of Carstairs. Over the past 8 years, 2 terms, it has been my honor to serve as a representative on county council. During this time, I have taken on a wide range of leadership roles, including Deputy Reeve, Chair of the Board for Mountain View Seniors Housing, advocating for affordable quality services for seniors in all of our urban communities, Chair of the Audit Committee, member of the Agricultural Service Board and Municipal Planning Commission, representative on multiple intermunicipal collaboration committees, Carstairs, Disbury, and I was the chair of the Cremona Committee when it was functioning, member of the intermunicipal frameworks with Rocky View County, Knee Hill County, and the MD of Bighorn, member of the Central Rural Municipalities of Alberta, the Carstairs Library Board, and the Parkland Library Board, as well as a member of the Aggie Days Committee. Throughout my time on council, I've focused on results, responsible governance, and fiscal responsibility. Some accomplishments I'm particularly proud of include doubling the budget for the RIP and CHIP program to enhance our chip seal road network, supporting a residential mill rate reduction of over 18% in the past 5 years, advocating for the Acme Road upgrade to asphalt, supporting local residents by pushing for guardrail installation on Range Road 13 for improved road safety, working closely with our urban partners on recreation, culture, fire services, including Capital, the new fire hall in Carstairs is an excellent example, advocating to the province and the ministers on issues vital to Mountain View County. I remain deeply committed to serving the people of Division 1 and all of Mountain View County with experience, honesty, integrity, and a strong work ethic. Here's how I'll continue to deliver for you. Continuing to be fiscally responsible with the county's budget, working to hold the line on tax increases, improving and refining our policies, bylaws, and land use and municipal development plan, ensuring that our decisions and processes are as transparent as possible, negotiating the best possible agreements with our urban partners, supporting and collaborating the Village of Cremona as they work through their provincial viability review. I believe in practical, achievable solutions, not vague or unrealistic promises. While no single councillor can deliver everything alone, I will always work collaboratively to get the results that matter to you. Thank you.
Well, thank you to both of you. Now we'll look for opening statements from Division 3 candidates. Mr. Miller will begin and followed by Ms. Look.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Al. Great to have you guys as moderators. Just a brief history of myself. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Alan Miller. I'm a fourth generation resident from the Didsbury area. We grew up 3 miles north of Didsbury on a family farm, and in those days it was mixed farming, grain, cattle, and cream-coated dairy was how I was raised. I graduated Didsbury High School in 1983 and went on to work for Imperial Oil bulk dealerships in Crossfield, Didsbury, Olds, and Cremona. After that was about 14 years, moved on to Green Drop and then on further to Sass-Weepool, where I was a grain buyer for the last, up from 1996 to 2000. And that was an area from Calgary to Wetaskiwin, border to border. After that, we started a family business. It's called AMAX Exteriors. We do exteriors of residential and commercial buildings and properties throughout the county. I do that with my wife. I have 2 boys. One is a chemical engineer, and he was a recipient of the County Citizenship Award here many years ago. So it was great to see how he moved on and was able to use that funds for his education. And then some of the boards and committees I'm on, I volunteer for the Mountain View Seniors Housing Foundation Board, which is a foundation that raises money and gives to our seniors' homes throughout the county. And for the insides of it, it doesn't do the brick and mortar part, but we raise funds for the tables, the bathtubs, trips. So it's pretty intensive, but it's a good way to give back to our community. Previous to that, I was chairman of the board, Foothills Natural Gas from 2013 to 2015, volunteer director from 2004 to 2012. And I was a parent member on West Didsbury 4-H, the Didsbury High School Basketball School, and Didsbury Parent Volunteer Committee. So what my ideas for the upcoming 4 years, I know the last 4 have been a learning experience. It was great to be able to see the other side of the table, to see how things work behind the scenes, you know, where your tax dollars go and how they get there. So I think going forward, I would like to keep our tax rates, of course, as low as we can, but still offer the services and the amenities that our county is accustomed to and used to. And I think to diversify our sorry, I think I hit the wrong button.
Sorry, you ran out of time. Okay, Ms. Look, your opportunity.
Thank you for organizing this so that we can bring forth some of our ideas. I'm finding it very difficult to get out and reach people. I'm a small business owner and a farmer in this community of Mountain View. My family moved here over 25 years ago. We were looking to build our own farm, leave the busy life of Calgary, and enjoy a lifestyle that rural living had to offer. And we are proud and happy to be a part of this community for the last 25 years. If elected, I plan to advocate for policies and support anything that needs to be addressed for farmers and local businesses. Many of the challenges that we face are at federal levels or provincial levels, but anything that I can address at a county tier is something that I'm going to be doing. I'm running for office to be your voice. I promise right here and right now to everyone listening and everyone in this room that there will be an open line of communication from you to me. I will be present. I will listen. I will ask for clarity if I am uncertain. There will be a large learning curve for me, but I know I can handle that. Excuse me. I will ensure that I have what I need to present your concerns or accolades to council, and I will bring the responses of this council back to you. I plan to fight for policies that protect business, whether it's a farming operation, a family-run business, or a commercial business. I want to advocate for programs that help these businesses compete and grow and that enhance the community values that I see within Mountain View County already, making it an even better place to live. I want to fight policies that support young families. I want to make a home for their growing families. But I also see a lot of older residents here, and they need to be able to live comfortably in our county. And therefore, we need to build a safe, resilient community that people want to be a part of. By supporting our existing economies, we invest in each and every one of us. So let's work together and lift our community up and remain vibrant for future generations. This is a place where families are raised, communities are built, and food is grown. Our work as stewards of this land is calling. We must encourage new development and give existing businesses what they need to continue to grow. I'm not against progress, but I do expect this progress respects our heritage, our way of life, our health, our future, our children's future, and our children's children's future. We cannot be a footnote in someone's business plan, but rather we need to be the foundation of Mountain View County's economy and spirit. Allow me this opportunity. Get out and vote. And if you agree with what you see here, vote for me. I intend to make our voices heard loud and clear.
Very good. Well, thank you. And now we'll move on to Division 5 candidates, and we'll begin with Ms. Charles, followed by Ms. Alberts.
Hello, I'm candidate for Division 5, Christina McCharles. My goal in running for council is to be elected as a Division 5 councillor. As a councillor, I want to be able to speak intuitively for the people of Division 5 and keep working with business to find an equity balance between the two. Making use of my experiences to deal with legislative bodies, ensure a logical working balance is achieved. Protection of aquifers, riparian zones, and watersheds is of the utmost importance. Working with communities to enhance that the work council currently does within Mountain View County, and I believe on focusing on residents' quality of life and protection of their way of life as a cornerstone standard. Farmers, ranchers, acreages, homeowners, and businesses are all valued equally and deserve a voice at the table when council decisions are being made. Time management for decision-making and deliberate focus when decisions are being made are extremely important to me. That is why I'm asking for your vote to be the next Division 5 councillor. So please get out and vote. It's very important. These will be my directives when I make my vote count when I'm a successful Division 5 councillor. I'm a local acreage owner for 7 years who appreciates the neighborhood with its tranquil lifestyle, which is the reason I moved here. I do own 2 accounting firms and have a lengthy career in quality, health, safety, and environment in many different industries. Aviation, transportation, wildland firefighting, power distribution and transmission, manufacturing, oil and gas service, and production, with a starting foundation in nursing. I'm a mother of 3, and this will be my directives when I make my count vote when I'm a successful Division 5 councillor. In summary, Division 5 needs a strong, harmonic voice with deliberate decision-making process that will ultimately affect residents and community positively. I believe all councillors need to ensure they act in accordance with a councillor's oath and code of conduct, upholding due diligence while representing the communities. This is my overall focus. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And we'll wrap it up with Angela Albers.
Thank you. Greetings, Division 5. For those who don't know me, I'm Angela Albers. I have served 12 years or 3 terms as the Division 5 councillor. I've been very fortunate to be trusted by my current council to serve as the first female reeve for the last 4 years. It's been a great honor to lead council and make sure every voice at the council table is heard and respected. Through my employment with Shell, I've lived in many different countries, and I want to say there is no place as beautiful and peaceful as Mountain View County. We have 1,450 square miles of county that is second to none, and an amazing volunteer base that keeps the community together. I'm continuously inspired to represent this amazing community and hope you will give me the opportunity to do that again. We have come so far in 12 years, yet remained so steady. I've supported consistency in land use planning so that people can actually plan long-term for what you want to do with your assets. I've supported stable municipal tax increases so that no one is ever caught off guard with a large increase. I have championed the creation of long-range plans to create certainty on service delivery and financial health. As Reeve, I have been transparent with information, putting out quarterly newsletters to keep you informed on important issues and opportunities to engage. I strive for transparency and supported implementing online council meetings, making it easier for community members to join council meetings and watch recordings when your schedule permits. I don't believe the county should be policing for compliance. I trust the majority of our community are trustworthy, and for the small percentage that are not behaving appropriately, there is a compliant process. There is a complaint process that can be used, which is made easier through the Mountain View County app. I believe that our agriculture producers are stewards of the land and will protect the water, soil, and air appropriately. I believe the county's focus should remain on our service delivery for safe and reliable infrastructure, emergency services like RCMP and fire protection, land use and governance, including strong policy and financial planning. I have worked hard to build relationships with our towns and town councils because I believe those relationships serve our rural community best. I believe I have an important role to play in dealing with the provincial government, and that is bringing your issues forward and lobbying for change that will support your needs. I have championed change that will protect agriculture land from renewable energy development and ensuring those development have reclamation securities. I have fought to increase educational opportunities for veterinarians and X-ray lab technicians that serve our rural community. I have lobbied for change to the code of practice for pits and more transparency on the issue of oil and gas temporary diversion licenses. We have so much more to do together, like getting a Sundry Health campus, and I would be honored to serve another term as your Division 5 councillor.
Okay, well, thank you to all of you for your opening comments. And we're now going to go into the questions section of the agenda. Just so you're aware, we will be asking questions to each division. Not everybody gets to answer the same question. So just so you're clear on that. And I'll turn it over to Bruce for the first question.
Thanks, Al. Thank you, Al. So we'll start with Division 1. And the question is number 10 that you've been provided with. How would you ensure that the water, air, soil, ecosystems, and mineral resources are appropriately safeguarded for many generations to come? And start with Ed.
Thank you very much for that question. That's a very important concern that all of us in the rural agricultural area have. I did a presentation at a keynote speaker in a couple of countries, and the topic was, there's a new currency in town, and it is water. Anybody that controls water and has water is they're very wealthy. We've got to worry about our groundwaters and aquifers so that new developments do not tax our aquifers that we're drawing from. At the same time, create new business opportunities. I notice a lot of our sloughs have dried up this year, so our surface water has to be really of concerning. And any of our rivers that are fed from the glaciers, if you see what's happening in the glaciers out there, they're receding. So we need to have a multi-year, long-term strategy on this. Things that have to be done is I think we need to spend more time on our wells and servicing our wells and making sure we're getting the maximum efficiency out of them and not wasting any water that we do use. I think our sloughs, we should be very careful about making sure that any new developments or watersheds, new developments that put ponds in to collect water, that they function as they should once they reach their maximum capacity, that the water flow is able to follow the traditional line of water flow. I do know some farms in the area that are having to haul water this year because some of the development, one of the developments is still hasn't filled a pond and is collecting all the water that was traditionally used to go down to the water flow. So just to sum up, water is very important. All of our natural resources are important, but I think we should really get on thinking long-term how we're going to conserve the wealth we have in our water. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. Dwayne?
Water, air, and mineral resources are under provincial jurisdiction. Council has and will continue to advocate directly and through the rural municipalities of Alberta through the resolution process for changes to legislation and regulations that we as Mountain View County see appropriate. The Ag Service Board, which I sit on, has programs to foster the protection of ecosystems and water sources such as the ALICE and REAP programs, as well as additional programs to assist farmers with soil health and weed management. If re-elected, I will continue to advocate to the province on these topics and advocate for change that works for Mountain View County. And also, I would continue to work on the ASB to expand our programs to ratepayers to protect our water and our ecosystems.
Okay, well, thank you. Now to Division 3. And your question is number 8 in your list of questions. What is the biggest issue you feel is currently facing the county, or an issue that will face the county in the next 4 years? And if elected as councillor, how would you work to resolve it? We'll start off with Mr. Miller.
Thank you again. So the biggest issue that currently I think is facing the county is our ICC agreements that we have upcoming with all the municipalities and all the urbans in our area. The decisions we make in the next few months or the next year will impact the county for the next 4 years and beyond. I think working with each municipality to come up with an equitable formula on recreation, on libraries, and services that we all use, I think is it's going to be a challenge, but I think it's something that as a county councillor, that's our biggest concern, and I will work very hard to come up with something that's equitable for our residents and for our county.
Thank you. Angela?
Thank you. I believe one of the biggest challenges facing Mountain View County is ensuring that residents have reliable access to healthcare and emergency services. The distances to our larger centers, north and south, are long. Volunteer shortages exist in fire and in emergency services, and healthcare resources are limited. If elected, I would like to focus on advocacy and partnerships. We need to work closely with the province to ensure that rural clinics, ambulance services, and hospitals are adequately funded and staffed. EMS must be fitted with proper equipment, training, and incentives to retain and recruit personnel. And that EMS service must be present in Mountain View County. At a county level, I feel we need to support our volunteer fire departments with funding for current equipment and upgraded training programs. Recruiting and retention of volunteers is a growing challenge that I have seen and must be addressed. By combining support for volunteers and strategic investment in provincial structures, we can ensure every resident here gets what they deserve, which is effective care when we need it most. We all expect and deserve a strong emergency response, no matter where we live in the county or the province. Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll move on to Division 5 and question number 9. What is your position on development in Mountain View County? Providing incentives to encourage economic activity or following a developer pays model? And we'll start with Christina.
Thank you. It's a balance. We work to assist monetary economic activity. However, the developer does not get a monetary break for the life of their business plan and operations of their business. Proper and fair taxation in line with what residents pay. Encourage businesses to manage every use and output with incentives, i.e. renewable energy installs, use of less energy, and oversight reviews with economic changes are essentially very important here. That's all.
Thank you. Angela.
Thank you. I want to be clear on this one, and I have supported this for the last 12 years. I believe that development should be paid by developers. The county's done servicing study for both the Natick-Besnick Park and as part of the South Carstairs Area Structure Plan to investigate installing water and wastewater services, and the amount of money required is vast. It is millions and millions of dollars. The risk of pre-investment is too great, and I don't believe it's the best interest. It's not in the best interest of the Mountain View County ratepayer. It would be a different story if we were Rocky View and bordered Calgary, or if we were Red Deer County and then we bordered Red Deer, who can easily tie into water and wastewater services. But that's not our case. So if we installed this vast amount of infrastructure, we would still have no guarantee that we would be able to attract the level of development required to pay for those services. I've fully supported the E3 lithium project, which is proof that as long as we have good policies and we're flexible in the ability to work with companies, we don't need to provide incentives or pre-invest in services. We can still bring those businesses into the benefit of our county. Thank you.
Thank you. Back to Division 1. And question 22 for you folks. For land use planning applications, what is your opinion on individual property owner rights versus the opinions and impacts on neighbors? Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Council has to ensure a balance between what an individual wants to develop and the impacts on the surrounding property owners. These are very much a case-by-case situation. Each application has to be evaluated on its own merits. In the instances where redesignation is required, that is the first step. This is where council will decide if the land is suitable to change its use for the applied for application. After redesignation is the development permit stage that allows for conditions to be placed on a proposed development that will govern how it will be operated. Council must be satisfied that all the relevant information and studies have been completed and included in this application. If the development permit is the development seasonal? Will there be more traffic affecting the roads? Will there be noise, dust, water usage, etc.? We have to remember that all developments have some impact to surrounding landowners, whether that be a single acreage or a multi-lot residential development, a business development, change of use to parks. So I feel that the impacts on the neighboring property should be taken into account for decision, and whether or not the applicant has taken those impacts into consideration and proposed some mitigation strategies. And are there development permit conditions that can be implemented to reduce these impacts? All these factors have to come together to make a decision. And if I'm reelected, I will work to strengthen the pre-consultation and community consultation requirements for larger projects that have been proposed, so that to ensure that all of our residents are aware and involved in the process.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw, I'll let you answer the question.
Yeah, this is a very good question, and I think the key to the whole thing is communication from the very start. I think what we need to do is the applicant should be encouraged to enter into conversation and communications with all the neighbors and the stakeholders, so that the stakeholders have a clear understanding of what is going to occur. Once that goes through, I think it's up to the county itself to also engage in all the face-to-face with all of the constituents that may be affected, and try to bring resolution and try to bring a consensus with the group and work together. Once the project is approved and all the guidelines and the requirements are met, and I think there should be very, very tight oversight on the supervision that all those are kept. I think in the past, many times we've set up guidelines that once they're in place, there's no way to enforce them. There's no oversight. And I think that causes a lot more difficulty. So I think plain communication with all parties at all steps of the way through is going to eliminate some of this conversation. Communicate, communicate, communicate. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed. So we'll move on now back to Division 3. And question number 3. What is your view on the municipality taking on provincial responsibilities, such as healthcare, policing, and Water Act regulations / enforcement? And Angela, if you would start off.
Thank you. I believe that Mountain View County should not be taking on provincial responsibilities like healthcare, policing, or Water Act regulations. These are provincial mandates, and local taxpayers should not be asked to shoulder the burden of costs that rightly belong to the province. I also believe that we do not have the expertise here to take on these tasks without taking away that expertise from other areas. Services as important as healthcare and policing require consistency across the province. The county's job, in my opinion, is to fix roads, manage land use, and support agriculture, not to run hospitals or police services. Our residents already pay the province for these services, and we need to hold the province accountable to deliver back to us. However, as Angela mentioned earlier, what we can do is bring our strong voices to the table at the provincial level. We can pressure the province to provide adequate policing resources, rural health care, and fair water policies. Those services are province-wide, and it's not fair to download those costs onto local taxpayers. Our role as a county is to focus on core municipal services that we deliver effectively, such as infrastructure, land use, agriculture, and rural communities. In short, if elected, I would defend our taxpayers by keeping the county in its lane while working hard to ensure the province fulfills and delivers in its responsibilities to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you. It's like the province always says to municipalities, especially currently, stay in your lane. And this is one of the lanes that I don't think our municipality wants to even dabble into. Healthcare, policing, and Water Act is all a provincial mandated guidelines. I do believe, though, that one of the ways that we can communicate with the province is open and viable communication with our local MLAs. Every chance we get, I think it's important to meet with them, discuss the concerns of our residents, and maybe they can force that up the chain. So, yeah, we're tasked mainly with roads and infrastructure, and policing and healthcare and water is not in our lane. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now on to Division 5 and question number 20 for your reference. Candidates or people often talk about accountability and transparency. What specific steps would you take to increase accountability and transparency in Mountain View County? And we'll start off with Angela Alberts.
Thank you. In my terms on council, I believed in sending out quarterly information to residents to keep them informed on issues pertinent to Division 5. When I was entrusted by council to hold the reeve position in 2021, my first task to keep the public informed was to keep the public informed. And so I created a quarterly newsletter identifying important issues and decisions made by council, and also promoting opportunities for the community to get involved in open houses and information sessions. In every quarterly newsletter, I promote the opportunity to engage with your division councillor for any issues or ideas that the public wants to share. I have supported and encouraged an increase in our online presence through social media and encouraged the development of the county app. I have also supported the county website redevelopment to make sure information is better and easier to share. The community raised the issue of council meetings being held during the day, which made it difficult for some to attend the public hearings. I supported council moving to recorded council meetings, which are retained, and the online meeting now provides our community the opportunity to participate in council meetings from home or from work. I have found that public open houses are difficult for people to attend, and so I encourage, wherever possible, we pre-record messages to the public so they can view them when they have the time. I'm always looking for better ways to engage with our community and get feedback. And I would encourage anyone, if you have any ideas on how you would like that to happen, I would love to hear them so I can try and implement them. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Christina McCharles.
As a candidate, I would follow my oath and code of conduct adherence to make sure accountability and transparency are intact, ensure policy creation that doesn't go against what landowners want, ensure residents' voices have a vote at the table. I would ensure to make my vote count by communicating with the residents' requests in mind. This increases accountability, transparency. Our votes should be public as well. I do enjoy the current accountability and transparency that the council or that the county is currently using. I would say continue with that and also to look for additional accountability and transparency and being able to connect with communication with the county. Thanks.
Thank you. And we'll go back to, we should shut off. There we are. We'll go back to Division 1 and question number 14. When it comes to developments within the county, how proactive should the county be to ensure that all developments are in compliance and any new developments are properly permitted? And start with Ed, please.
I think the first thing that we need to do when we develop a project and get some compliant regulations, we must make sure that the compliant conditions are actually, in fact, achievable and measurable. And that we've got to be able to ensure the compliance of the conditions once the project is up and running, and a regular visit to ensure that they are taking place. To set up regulations and compliant conditions that are not enforceable or not real is like giving your children some rules and then not having any accountability for them. So we must have accountability for these projects, what they promised, what they said they would do, to follow up and make sure they're compliant and meet the rules. Thank you.
And go ahead, Dwayne.
Thank you. Mountain View County is complaint-based, meaning that a complaint has to be received for bylaw to investigate. This policy has been in place for many years and is partially based on a cost issue. It would require much more staff to continually monitor all of the development permits across the county. Then this becomes a budget concern. New developments have a list of conditions that must be met before the development permit is issued. If a development is seen to be not in compliance, generally the Planning and Development Department works with the landowner to bring those properties into compliance, and those issues there would then, to come into compliance, often will come to the MPC Commission for approval of those updated permit conditions. In some cases, legal action is required. I feel this system has worked well, but if reelected, I am fully prepared to advocate for any changes to our policies and procedures to make sure that the council and the residents are satisfied with the level of enforcement on development permits across the county.
Okay, thank you. Now we go on Division 3 again, and this is question number 4 in your package. Mountain View County is a large, diverse geographic area with very different local and interests from east to west and north to south. How do you plan to manage the expectations directly from your individual district with the best interests of those from across the county? And our first one will be Alan Miller.
Thank you. I think managing interests from residents within my division, the most important thing is getting the information. When they call, quick response, quick emails, follow-ups. Many times in the past 4 years, I've gone out and visited, sit at the kitchen table, have a coffee with them, and actually find out what the issues are. Then, taking those forward, you look at the bigger picture, you always keep in mind what's going on in your division. But when you come to the table and you vote, you have to vote for the betterment of the whole county. So that's my going forward.
Thank you. Angela Look.
Thank you. Each division does have its unique needs. As I've been driving the county more, putting out signs this week, whether it's farming, ranching, small business, or small town residential concerns, I will respect each local identity. My job is to bring the concerns of my division to council, but I must also weigh them against the common goals of the county and what's best for everyone. This means listening carefully to the residents in my own riding, bringing their voices to council, and working collaboratively with other councillors so decisions are fair and balanced. We succeed here when we find balance, listening, clarifying, researching, and more importantly, discussing. We can keep Mountain View County strong and united by following these principles. At the end of the day, I promise to represent my division with honesty and passion. But let's face it, we all share the same roads, the same tax base, and the same future. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'll move on to Division 5. And we'll start off this one with question number 16. And first responder will be Christina. Councillors, what do you see as the most important role of a councillor? Policymaking, advocacy, community representation, or obtaining information on the operations and administration from the CAO, and why?
Decision-making that demonstrates advocacy, community, and community representation. Council would also have diverse thoughts from administration, operations, and from the CAO. Why? It demonstrates a collaborative approach needed to assist to avoid questionable approaches within council.
And Angela?
Thank you. The true answer is all of the above. Policymaking is key where gaps have been identified. Policy is the direction that council provides administration to deliver the services in the community. Part of good governance is relying on community feedback to improve policy, and that requires community representation and engagement. You also can't make good policy changes or new policies without obtaining information on operations, so the engagement with the CAO is absolutely required. Regarding advocacy, this is usually when we do what we do on issues that are not in the county's jurisdiction. When issues are raised from a community, I immediately think of what provincial minister or ministers are responsible for that issue. Then I research the legislation, policy, or regulations that are tied to that issue and work with council to come up with suggestions to the minister on how it can be improved to solve the concerns of our community. I championed the resolution for updated legislation on renewable energy, requesting the province include policy on agriculture preservation, as well as securities for reclamation. Based on the concerns of the community, I championed a resolution requesting the province review outdated code of practice for pits. Based on feedback from the Sundry Wellness Committee, I championed a resolution to increase educational access for lab X-ray technicians. I built a relationship with the Alberta Veterinary and Medical Association and the Dean of the University of Calgary Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, resulting in the resolution that expanded the vet program at the University of Calgary. I'm currently on a committee that is lobbying the government for a new Sundre Health campus. I know that all of these issues are important to our community, and so yes, advocacy is a priority for me.
Okay, thank you. And back to Division 1 and question 2 in your package. The ability for a municipality to provide high-quality services is directly tied to the taxation received from businesses and residents. Councillors have the ability to maintain services with existing funding levels, increase services resulting in increased taxation, or decreasing services resulting in decreased taxation. What is your position? And I'll go to Dwayne Fulton first.
Thank you. Council works to balance the levels of service with the cost to taxpayers. The goal has been to maximize efficiency and find cost savings to maintain service levels while minimizing tax increases. Just as a point of interest, 58% of our taxes come from linear and machinery and equipment. So that is not actually the residential parcels. 13% come from non-residential, 25% from residential properties, and 4% from farmland. My position is to maintain the current levels of service that we have established, continue to find efficiencies within county operations, and be open to looking at any enhancements that have been brought forward by ratepayers.
And to Ed Shaw.
I think it's really important that we maintain our existing level of services to our constituents. But at the same time, we have to watch our tax base, and we have to look at developing new businesses, new opportunities to increase that tax base. And I think that we've got a lot of assets in the province or in the county that we can utilize to encourage businesses to come here. And I would cite that I said some of the business, I think we should give some incentives, like possibly tax-free holiday for a few years to get the investments here. But again, I want to make sure that any developments are compatible with agriculture and do not disturb our traditional heritage in agriculture. The other thing I think we should do is maximize our capital purchases, our service purchases. And I mean, the federal government now has gone into a process where they buy Canadian. I think we should do everything we can to buy first locally if the quality and the service is equal, then provincially, and then Canadian before we start going offshore and starting buying outside. So I think cutting costs, looking at increasing our tax base, but definitely maintain our existing level of service. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go on to Division 3. And the question is number 19. How should the county balance economic development and development pressures with agricultural land preservation? And start off with Angela.
Thank you. This one is close to my heart, so I'm going to have a hard time getting through my 2 minutes. Balancing economic development with agricultural land preservation is one of the most important responsibilities of Mountain View County. Our farmland is not just an economic asset. It defines who we are as a community and shapes the rural lifestyle most residents here value. We cannot allow short-term economic pressures to sacrifice the long-term health of our land or the character of this county. Balancing economic development with agricultural land preservation requires strategic planning. Agriculture is the backbone of this county, so productive farmland must be protected, but at the same time, we need to support economic growth. I believe growth should be directed towards central corridors, existing industrial areas, and established commercial belts where infrastructure already exists and development has no impact on farmland. This is smart growth, making use of the existing roads, utilities, and services instead of sprawling into productive agricultural land. The county has developed industrial parks already. Before land is taken from agriculture, let's fill those parks. Additionally, new developments should contribute fairly to infrastructure costs through impact fees and comply with strict land use and environmental standards. By combining strategic placement, responsible policies, and community-focused planning, we can grow the economy without sacrificing farmland and rural character that defines our county. I am not about stopping development, but I believe it's about guiding it intelligently, protecting our legacy, and ensuring that growth benefits everyone without eroding the very foundation of this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Alan.
So one of the main principles of our land use document is the right to farm. I think throughout the county, mainly on the east side, you'll see that the acreages, we have lots of full sections where there's acreages that are there. We limit it to one for very good reason, you know, for ag land. For economic development though, I think we have examples. We have some currently that we're working on with the County of Mountain View. And the land is, you know, the current one is E3, which I heavily support. Its land use is in an existing gravel pit, which has come to the end of its life. And I think its location is, it's right on 2 feeder networks. It has the main electric, three-phase electric there that it needs. And I think of the proximity to our communities for the labor force. I think deals like that, I think, are something that the county has to look forward to and appreciate that they've come to our county.
Okay, thank you. Now back on to Division 5. And it's question number 15. Councillors often have differing views on issues. How will you work with councillors you disagree with to reach consensus? And we'll go to Angela first.
Thank you. As Reeve for the last 4 years leading this council, it is so important to me that all elected officials have their say and are able to speak openly and honestly about how they feel on issues without fear of being bullied or ignored. On my 12 years of council, it is uncommon that on my 12 years of council, it is not uncommon that there are a wide range of different views on issues. We all come from different backgrounds and bring unique experiences to the table, and so it only makes sense that we will have different ideas. Our job as elected officials is to openly discuss new ideas that our ratepayers bring forward. As Reeve, my job has always been to find the best solution for our ratepayers, which usually means incorporating many ideas into the decision. The key to council is that you are a team. You need to be able to accept when a decision is made that you may not agree with and appreciate that your team has made the best decision possible with the available information. I know from my own experiences in cases where I felt I have lost a vote, council direction has proved to be the wise choice. So you are a council of 7 and you only have 1 vote. You need to accept the decisions of council as a whole and move forward as a united front. Thank you.
Thank you. And same question to Christina Charles. Charles.
Thank you. By listening to other council members, hearing and validating what they're saying, offering additional logic, facts, and science to make any case I want to make, working collaboratively with other divisions based on their residents' needs. This is a teamwork approach within council, and I do understand that there are 7 councils and I only have 1 vote, so I have to make it count. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we shall go back to Division 1 and question number 7. Many landowners feel that they have a right to first parcel out from an unsubdivided quarter section. What is your position on a first parcel out policy? And what are your thoughts on further subdivision potential? And we'll start with Ed, please.
First parcel out of, in a farming operations on very valuable land is a very important policy to have. But we need to consider possibly some of these enhanced agricultural operations that are growing and developing in intensive agriculture. We may need, there may be other family members or other partners coming in that we may need to look at those on a case-by-case basis, as long as they're agriculture related and agricultural supported. And this is most important on very productive farmland. We should really look at. If it's on marginal pieces of land that they want to do that, I think there should be a case to have a second look at that. So bottom line, I'm in favor of the one parcel out unless we have circumstances where intensive agriculture may need some extra housing there, or if it's used on marginal land that's not going to be taken out of productive land. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
Landowners can apply for the first parcel out all across the county. Each application will be presented to council and evaluated on soil classification, topography, current and historical uses of the land, etc. Some of the county, particularly west of Highway 22, is in the potential multi-lot area, which allows for up to 4 titles per quarter. And to the east of Highway 22 is generally the ag preservation area with 2 titles available. Each application is unique and is reviewed as such. Bare lot subdivisions in high class soils on a fully productive quarter are harder for me to support because of the loss of productive agricultural land. Once a subdivision is created, that land is lost to agriculture. Quarters with natural barriers or other geographical features such as coulees or draws, roads, are easier to support for subdivision because the loss of land, of agriculture, of useful land is less predominant. If re-elected, I will bring forward changes to the land use bylaw during the review process to look at creating another ag district that would allow for further subdivision of existing developments and leave the remainder as ag land with no residential development possibilities. This has been brought forward by many ratepayers in my division, and I believe that this could be a positive step forward in the future.
Okay, now to District 3 or Division 3. And it's question number 17 in your list of questions. How do you propose the county deal with infrastructure repair and replacement while also planning for future growth? And we go to Alan Miller to begin with.
Thank you for the question. So the county infrastructure, currently, I think our bridge program is probably one of the biggest programs that we have to deal with. We have a program that goes out as far as 50 years telling us which bridges will need replacement. The costs of that are huge coming forward. I can see in 4 or 5 years where it's going to be a very tough situation for council to be able to keep those bridges open. And part of the way I think that we can look forward to maintaining those current levels of service is using our reserve accounts or using some of the county's reserves to fund some of the ones that we have currently under construction. But going forward, I think we're going to have to go into the borrowing, and that's a term that we all hate. It's either that or raise taxes, and I think we hate both of those. So when the opportunity comes around where the interest rates may be favorable for us, I think that's something that we're going to have to look at, is going into debt a little bit. I know the bridges were not, they were handed over by the province in 2016 with a maintenance agreement, but that agreement has not lived up to its potential. I think those are our biggest problems right now that are facing the county.
Sorry, Angela, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Dealing with aging or failing infrastructure while planning for the future requires that same thing we've all spoken about earlier today, balance and a strategic approach. First, we have to assess and prioritize repairs based on safety, usage, and long-term costs. Roads, bridges, and essential services that impact residents and economic activity should come first. Investing in regular upkeep now could potentially reduce the risk of costly repairs later. Small, planned interventions keep roads, bridges, and utilities in better shape longer. Secondly, we should plan proactively for future growth, ensuring new infrastructure is designed to meet tomorrow's needs and avoid these short-term fixes. This includes leveraging technology and partnering with the province or other funding sources. Also, grouping similar projects together improves efficiency, reduces costs, and minimizes disruptions for residents. This allows us to get more done with the same resources. Finally, financial responsibility is key. We need to make sure that the tax dollars are spent wisely, using a mix of regular budgets and grants to maintain current services while building for the future. New developments should contribute their fair share to the infrastructure they require and use. This ensures that growth will pay for itself rather than overburdening taxpayers. By combining these strategies, Mountain View County can maintain and possibly improve existing infrastructure, plan for the future, and most importantly, spend the taxpayers' dollars wisely. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll now go on to Division 5, and this will be the last question for the forum, and then we'll follow up with closing comments after this. So we'll do question number 18. What is your view on the county's current debt levels? And how do you feel that the county's debt limit should be used? And Christina, if you would start off.
Thank you. Alberta, Canada regulates municipal debt at a maximum of 1.5% of the annual revenue. Counties develop debt management policy to guide their borrowing decisions and ensure long-term financial health. Current debt levels should be used to ensure healthy ecosystems that need restoration. As an example, demonstrates due diligence to protection of water resources, watersheds, and riparian zones. Thank you.
Thank you. And Angela, please.
Thank you. Again, going back to transparency, so the county does have their audited financials presented to council annually, so everyone can see what this information is. The county holds two debts currently. One is for Mountain View Senior Housing, and the other is for the Bergen Road project, and that is the total vast amount of the debt the county carries. The county agreed to take out multiple loans for Mountain View Senior Housing when they were not able to access funding themselves. And that's because council supports our seniors. I fully supported the decision to take out a loan to fund part of the Bergen Road project due to the low interest rates at the time. I supported funding $5 million of the Bergen Road project by debt when interest rates were 1.88%. The county will pay out that loan in 2040. I wouldn't support debt at higher interest rates as the county is not in a financial position to require debt financing. However, I do support looking at the option of debt on large infrastructure projects when they are approved by council, in cases where interest rates are low enough to financially justify it. When you can borrow money at interest rates below 2%, it just is crazy not to look at those options for the long-term viability and financial health of the county. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Okay, with that, that'll be the end of our question period, and now we'll take an opportunity for closing comments from each of the respective candidates. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for their final remarks. And again, the order was determined by a random draw. And this time, Division 3 will begin and start with Angela Look and followed by Mr. Miller.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity today to share my vision for Mountain View County. Throughout this forum, we've talked about important issues, balancing growth with farmland protection, maintaining infrastructure, supporting emergency services, ensuring fairness in taxation and assessments, and keeping the county accountable to its residents. My approach is simple. Protect what matters most, our farmland, our rural way of life, and our community values. We can grow economy without sacrificing our rural character. Plan responsibly for growth, directing development to where it makes sense, ensuring industries don't undermine property values or quality of life, and using our debt and tax dollars wisely. Safety can never be compromised with growth, and healthcare should never be overburdened. We need to lead with accountability and transparency because our residents deserve clear answers, fair processes, and confidence in how the divisions here are made. I am committed to working collaboratively with Council, advocating fair and consistent provincial services and ensuring decisions are made in the best interest of both my local division and the county as a whole. Mountain View County is built on strong farmland, hardworking people, and a tradition of looking out for our neighbors. As councillor, my commitment is to protect what our county is strong for while planning wisely for the future. This means keeping agriculture at the heart of my decisions, our decisions, managing infrastructure responsibly, and making sure every tax dollar is spent with care. It means supporting innovation, especially when it complements farming and brings real benefit to residents. Most of all, I want to listen to the people, and I'm available now to talk if you need help to make an informed decision. I'm a person who is fair, accountable, and forward-thinking. Please get out and vote. Please vote in your best interest and ours. Thank you.
Go ahead, Al.
I thank you for the time today to speak to what my thoughts are going forward in the next 4 years. I will continue to listen and bring the concerns of our residents and our community forward to our council table. One thing that I've learned in the last 4 years is this is not a part-time commitment. This is something that is almost, it's almost a full-time position. There's days where you'll be at the grocery store, people will meet you there. You have a hard time getting out of the grocery store just because there's so many people that want to talk to you. I'll continue meeting the residents at their homes and at their tables and taking part in all the community events that we have over the year, and continue to work with my fellow councillors and always look at open and honest debate. Thank you.
Thanks, Al. We'll move on to Division 5. Closing comments will begin with Ms. Albers and followed by Ms. McCharles.
Thank you. Because I didn't get a question on economic development, I just want to touch on it very quickly. I know I've heard from some of the candidates that we can impact farmland and that we have to have, this great interaction between the developer and the community. But on my 12 years, I've never seen a development that has been brought forward to the county that hasn't had significant or had community opposition. People are concerned about road, dust, traffic, crime, water sources, and these are tough decisions for council, and council does need to balance this. And so I always look at what kind of job opportunities in the local economy is it going to bring? What kind of businesses is it going to support within our community? And what's the tax implications? They're tough decisions, but overall, in my council terms, I voted in favor of gravel developments, the Aurora Cannabis Facility, the Rocky Mountain Motorsport Park, a new business park east to Olds, the Cremona Heritage Center, expansion of Irvine's Tack in Western, and a full support of E3 Lithium. And this is diversifying our tax base. So thank you for watching this forum and taking an interest to hear the candidates' positions on the issues that matter to you. I hope I've sufficiently answered your questions. If I haven't, please contact me. You deserve more than 2 minutes per question because some of these are pretty intense questions and really should be elaborated on. Thank you for the privilege of serving this community in Division 5 for the last 12 years. I hope I've answered your questions adequately. In closing, please vote. As we've seen in the last municipal, federal, and provincial elections, every vote does matter. And so I would very much appreciate if everyone would take the time to come out and vote. In Division 5, October 6th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Bearberry Hall. October 8th, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Sundre Legion. October 11th, 10 to 3 p.m. at the Mountain View County office. And October 20th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Sundre Legion. Please come out and vote, and I hope you will support me. Have a great day.
Divisions and counties all alike, we need to work collaboratively. We need to maintain healthy agricultural land preservation in this county to feed people and animals. And that's my focus with running today. We should be leaders in sustainability and preservation of agricultural land. I feel the county requires some hiring practices that include professionals in the field of air, water, and soil quality to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to ensure that balance. Ensuring we demonstrate transparency. My commitment is to intuitively represent Division 5 residents, and I do hope that you will get out and vote. I've enjoyed today. It's been a challenge answering these questions, not having boots in the dirt as a county member yet. I'm hopeful that you will vote for me for some different perspective, but thank you very much. And don't forget to get out and vote.
We'll have our final closing comments out of Division 1, beginning with Dwayne Fulton, followed by Ed Shaw. So Dwayne, floor is yours.
Thank you so
I'd
much.
like to take this opportunity to thank Mountain View County for organizing this candidates forum today, and to thank Bruce Beattie and Al Kemmere for serving as our moderators. I would also like to extend my thanks to the residents who submitted all of the questions for the candidates. It is my hope that the responses shared here today will have provided the answers and clarity that residents were seeking. It has been my honor and privilege to serve as your councillor and Deputy Reeve over the past 2 terms. I am now asking for your support to re-elect me for a 3rd term. Being a councillor is not just a role, it's a 365-day-a-year commitment. Whether I'm attending meetings, reading agendas, answering emails, phone calls, and text messages, or simply talking to residents in the community, I am a councillor at all times, and I carry my responsibility as your councillor with pride and dedication. Having a farmer on Mountain View County Council is imperative to ensure that the interests of agriculture producers are well represented. I will continue to advocate for the residents of Division 1 and for all of Mountain View County with experience, honesty, integrity, and dedication. To learn more, please visit my website, www.electdwaynefulton.com. And remember, get out and vote. Every vote counts. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwayne. And Ed, the final word for before closing comments.
Well, I want to thank the moderators and the county for putting this together too. I am seeking election to try to bring more communication between our constituents and the county, trying to ensure transparency and openness. I've always had an open door policy. I'm semi-retired, and if elected, I will commit myself to putting 110% into this, like I've done throughout my careers and all my jobs. Again, communications. I think communication solves a lot of problems, and I think that if we get out and communicate with all the stakeholders and residents early in the game, it bears fruit. I agree we should maximize dollars spent on get the most dollars on the money we spent, and look at all sorts of new avenues. I also embrace looking at AI to help making some of our decisions and exploring other projects that we may look at that have failed or succeeded in other areas. It's a very valuable tool. Again, buy local, buy provincial, buy federal. I think we should really push on that in this day with what's going on in the world. I am a team player. I've worked in lots of different cultures and scenarios where consensus was very difficult, but at the end of the day, I'm a team player, and I respect everybody's where they come from and appreciate how they come from it. If I'm elected a councillor in Division 1, I will support Division 1 to the fullest. but I'll also put my support to the success of the whole county. Because if Division 1 succeeds, everybody succeeds. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please go look at the county and my website as well, and feel free to give me a call, and my door is always open. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, everybody, for your closing comments and your ability to address the questions. I think what you've given here is a glimpse of what you represent from your different areas. And hopefully the public buys into watching and having a good view of what you've had to say. It's an important part of democracy, this whole voting process, and it's what we live for in this country. And I think this is great to see the contributions that everybody makes. Advanced voting will be taking place on October 6th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Wednesday, October 8th, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. October 11th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Election day, to no one's surprise, is October 20th, 2025, with polls open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Remember, only residents of your respected division are eligible to vote. You will need to present government-issued ID that confirms your address. For more information about locations, the elections process, and candidates, you can visit www.mountainviewcounty.com/P/elections. You can gather more information that way. And on my own behalf, again, thank you for this opportunity for us to be able to do this. Thank you to the staff for helping us be organized in this process and providing you with the opportunity. So again, thank you and best of luck to you all. And I'll turn it over to Bruce for any closing comments.
Yeah, well, you said it all. Certainly, the staff has done a great job, and to the candidates, I wish you all the best. I know it's and as has been mentioned a couple times, it becomes a full-time job if you do your job properly and you represent your residents, and it's an enjoyable and very fulfilling way to serve your community. So, best of luck to all of you, and I'm sure that those. Never mind, it's not a matter of winning or losing, it's a matter of putting your names forward and doing your best for your community. So I certainly enjoyed the time that I was on council and served Mountain View County, and I'm sure you will as well. So thanks again, and we'll look forward to the results on October 20th.